Good afternoon. Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. It means a great deal to my family. So we're gonna take some time here and share some reflections of what my father meant to obviously my family and the grandkids and to all of them. You didn't grow up with my dad without working. I mean, we had a shovel, a hammer, working on houses, I mean, it's just, that's what we did. He was hard. I mean, he was hard on us, but he was loving.
I have so many memories of my dad, and the greatest thing for me is my dad and I kind of had a silly relationship because I'm kind of the silly one in the family. And my greatest memories were he would wake me up when I'm supposed to be in bed. I think Mom knew though. And to go watch Three Stooges with him. And then he would sneak me up back to bed, and he always did this thing with me where he'd be like, "We can't wake up Simone." But he'd go like, "Sand in this eye and sand in this eye, and if you wake up or cry, you'll get mud in your eye, and so don't you cry," and just things like that. Like I remember. Another thing that I love about my dad is when I was younger, I was very active, still am, and he took me everywhere, like to his job. So I remember he had a chimney cleaning business, so I went with him to clean chimneys. But whenever we go, we have to stop at Dunkin' Donuts. So I remember my hot chocolate and my apple fritter. And we would do that, and I would help him clean chimneys. He's taught me from cleaning chimneys to laying cement to roofing a house. He taught me to change brakes. He's taught me to work on cars. He has taught me so much things, and the cool thing is now I use him when I go on mission trips. But I do remember just so many things that he had taught me, and I loved being with him. I loved being out in the garage with him. He would show me exactly how to hold the nail, how to do the hammers, how to do screws, how to do saws. So, I mean, I was a tomboy, so that stuff was awesome for me. So yeah, that's what I love about my dad, is he taught me a lot, and I got to hang out with him when I was younger, and just the Dunkin' Donut trips and the cleaning the chimneys and stuff like that. So yeah, I love you, Pops.
I know my father would not us to grieve for him today. He'd rather us be in a fishing boat or a nice fishing spot with him instead. Either fishing on Otsego Lake or Traverse City dragging a pumpkin seed worm, which I hated that darn worm, but in a rowboat in the pouring rain. Or fishing up in the UP with my Uncle Mike and my Uncle Eddie and having good times with them. I learned a lot from my father about life, being his oldest son. At a young age, going over my grandmother's house sit-out, taking care of her house, cutting her grass, making that giant garden with no rototiller, but we had a lot of shovels. He was too cheap to get us a rototiller, but we love him. Then going over to my Uncle Dave's house and across the street and having lunch with him and his kids. Then going over to my Aunt Jenny's house, my Aunt Rosie's house, Uncle Ray, cooking shish kebab, playing games every weekend, especially basketball. But the best day of my dad was out on the boat on Traverse Bay, with all of us on the boat, Eric driving it, Jeremy telling us, let's try it here. Me and my brother Eric, Jeremy, Jim, we're all out there, Sean, we're catching them one after another. My dad was laughing and smiling, so it's the greatest day that we had as all brothers and my father. In closing, I never forgot the fishing again in the rowboat. I was probably 10 years old, and we were up in the Georgian Bay. It started to get cloudy, and I was telling my dad, "Hey, Pops, the boats are coming in. Everybody's coming in. It's getting bad. The clouds are getting black." My father told me to keep rowing the boat. Well, I was getting scared because the wind was picking up, and then the rain came. And it came harder and faster. And I'm like, "Dad, it's getting worse," but he was catching them one after another. Then the wind went crazy, and he told me to row to shore as fast as we could. We pulled that darn rowboat up the rocks, ran under a tree, and he told me to hug the tree and hold on. It was the worst storm I've ever been in. He put his arms around me as we held that tree together until the storm passed, and then we hurried up and went back out in the boat and went fishing. Well, Pops, I still feel those arms around me. You are my best friend and always will be.
Some Big L's baby. John claims he got the looks of the family, but took 7 tries to get one right. So
My brothers and I were going through my parents' keepsakes at the house, and I found this card. Can you hold that, Jen? This is a card, Valentine's card my dad wrote my mom in 1961. So that was the year John was born. So I figured the math, maybe this is why he was born. It was February 9th of 1961 at 9:30 p.m. So I'm going to attempt to read this now. Hi honey, just to let you know I love you and that the only heart I'll ever hold is yours. Let's make every Valentine's Day as happy as this one. Let our hearts unite stronger every holiday of the year. To you, honey, all my love, along with my heart, let your heart be mine. Yours every minute of the day, your husband now and forever, Al. Then he drew like this little heart thing. It's not Arabic either, so all the white people can read it. Sending you a kiss. Then it says, Mr. and Mrs. Alcodray, what a couple, what a combination. So determined, so willing, so loving. I wanted to share that. Then I had some stuff. Do you have my paper? I won't be long, I promise.
You came prepared.
Yeah. My notes. So you can tell by that card how much my dad loved my mom. This love carried on to his children. Everything my dad did in his life was for his family. He was never selfish and sacrificed a lot of his time, working 7 days a week so his children could have a good life. My dad did everything he could to ensure we had good experiences growing up. Obviously, if you're Facebook friends with me, you know my dad carried his love of fishing onto me. Besides his love to me and my family, it's the greatest gift he gave to me. A lot of my greatest memories I had growing up usually involved the rod and reel. From the shark's house at Seagull Lake to drifting from point to point, or sitting freezing in the harbor in Lexington fishing for salmon, I have so many great memories fishing with my father. At the time, I did not appreciate those 4 a.m. wake-ups on Sundays to head to the lake. But now as an adult is what I love to do the most. I am forever grateful for those experiences which turned into a lifelong passion of mine. Every time I hit the water for the rest of my life, I'll always look up and thank Big Al and know he's still yelling at me when I hook a fish. Keep your rod bent, son. Let him run, loosen your drag, boy. Love you, Pops. Thanks for everything you did for me.
On behalf of the President of the United States Navy, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation of your husband's honorable and dedicated service to our country. I'm very sorry.